Howdy folks, you're on the C9 Speed 252 show. Scroll over to the right, click that subscribe button, and join this awesome community.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of C9 Speed 252. And I want to thank each and every one of you for pushing that play button today, joining me on the channel. And I'm greatly thankful for each and every one of you. Literally every single time I release an upload, you guys are tuning in, watching the ads, leaving comments, giving it thumbs up, just leaving your support. And you guys, now we at 17,000 followers. My goal is to reach 20,000 followers by the end of this year. So if you guys can help me get there, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button, leave your comments down below, and let's get in today's video. So today's video is going to be something kind of different. Although we do have the 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette behind me, and we do know as of right now, General Motors or Chevrolet is going forward with the mid-engine Corvette platform. There are some things that I would like to see better regarding either the 2020 C8 Corvette or possibly the C9 Corvette. Now, a lot of guys are like, man, dang, like you got a C8 Corvette, now you already hop into the C9? Absolutely. You think things just move forward quickly. You never know. Chevrolet already probably working on the C9. Just think about it. When Chevrolet unveiled the 2014 C7 Stingray, they already had one of these built in the back. We didn't know it. You know, some guys probably knew it. I didn't know it. The day when they unveiled the 2014 C7 Corvette, Chevrolet already had a prototype 2020, I won't say 2020, but mid-engine Corvette sitting in the back already ready to go. So who's to say that they don't already have a C9 ready in the back ready to go? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking forward to what Chevrolet will do to improve the 2020 C8 Corvette as far as the Z06, the Grand Sport, the E-Ray, the ZR1, and the Zora. But after owning this car, there are some things that I truly love and some things that I think I would like to see, like I say, on a future generation Corvette or maybe the C9 Corvette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the overall thoughts about the 2020 C8 Corvette, and then I'm going to talk about some things that I think that I feel like should need or sort of kind of be improved on. You know, it's one of those things where nothing in life is perfect. There's something that we all can improve on, you know, like and that's just how we generate and evolve in life. And it's one of those things where, you know, Chevrolet love feedback because feedback helps them listen to their audience. Let me give you a perfect example. One thing that people complain about regarding the Corvette is people always wanted two things: fold-in mirrors, automatic fold-in mirrors, and a front-end lift. Those are things that people complain about for a long period of time when they wanted to own a Corvette, because they felt like the front-end lift would help them keep from scraping on the ground, and they felt like having fold-in mirrors would keep them from getting their mirrors damaged while they're in a parking space. So you guys, no matter what we do, we can park way over there, and there'll be another car that parks way over there right beside you. So no matter what you do, no matter where you're at, somebody will park right beside you. So GM does listen to their customer base. They do listen to people that follow them, and they do listen to their customers and respect all day long, which is why Chevrolet was able to prove a lot of people wrong that it was be able to build a mid-engine sports car for $60,000. Yes, Chevrolet had us all fooled. We were making YouTube videos left and right of how much we thought this car was going to cost. Guys were saying there's no way GM's going to build a mid-engine sports car that was going to cost, you know, less than $100,000. Lamborghini this, Ferrari pricing this, Bugatti this, it kept going on and on and on. And Lamborghini this, and people was like, there's no way that these other car makers was going to be able to make a car being less. There's no way Chevrolet was gonna be able to do that. Well, Chevrolet proved them wrong, and they definitely proved me wrong. So, and I'm sure they proved a lot of everybody wrong, right? There's no way that we thought this car was gonna come in at under $60,000. And you guys, I know a lot of guys gonna be like, well, the car really don't cost $60,000. No, it doesn't, but it does. I'm gonna give you a prime example. My car cost me $84,000 after taxes, tax, title fees, all that stuff out the door. I have a buddy of mine who bought a 2020 C8 Corvette. He has one LT. He has white interior, orange exterior. He has no spoiler, non-Z51. And he pretty much have a bone stock 2020 C8 Corvette. And he loves it. absolutely loves it. You know what his price was out the door? $63,000. So yes, that including taxes though. So technically you can buy a 2020 Corvette C8 for 60 grand, not including taxes. When you include taxes, it's $63,000. It's still a whole lot of car for your money, because now you are driving something that looks super exotic for $60,000. And for me, I knew that getting the 1LT package, non-Z51, wasn't going to make me happy. I would have been happy with it, but it won't going to make me as happy as this bad boy has made me happy. And by the way, we all know that, you know, I wanted to get an early car, and General Motors was not letting anyone get a 1LT non-Z51 at that moment in time because they wanted to make a lot of money. I understand it is a business thing. I respect the grind. I respect the hustle. Obviously, as you guys know, I am hustling and grinding with making YouTube videos and working on a daily basis. So, with that being said, there are always improvements and things that can be done to a car, no matter what car maker you are, no what manufacturer you are. There are always things that can be improved, and most times they listen to their customer base if they can do it within an affordable price. So, overall, this car has been great. You guys have heard me say a number of times, I love this car a lot. You guys ask me questions like, which one I love the best between the C8 and the C7? I love them both. They both bring different things to my life. They both add different qualities to my life by being behind the 2020 C8 and being behind my 2017 C7. And, you know, it's one of those things where when you're behind the mid-engine sports car, you feel like you're an exotic car. Chevrolet made this car looks super exotic. This car, in my personal opinion, I'd rather own than a 911 Porsche. And a lot of you guys will be like, well, that sounds kind of silly, well, right? I mean, think about it. This car, to me personally, gives you more bang for your buck than a 911 Porsche. I mean, those guys are starting around 100K. You can get a nice C8 Corvette for, you know, 60 grand. You're not gonna find you a good old Porsche for 60 grand. I can tell you that right now. This car is giving me everything I need, and it's still coming in under less than a Porsche. And to be quite honest with you, for all my Porsche guys out there, don't hate me for saying this, I don't think the Porsche look exotic at all. I like the Porsche. I have driven a Porsche 911 twin turbo, and it was fast, all-wheel drive. It put me back to my seat. I really enjoyed it. I got that video on my channel right now. Definitely go ahead and check it out. But it doesn't beat what I get out of this car. I mean, I get so much more out of this car than owning a 911 Porsche. And when I see a 911 Porsche, you know, going down the road, I don't be like that. I'm like, oh, that's just a 911 Porsche. But when I see this and somebody else is driving it, I'd be like, that's a C8 Corvette. Yeah, because the C8 Corvette looks a little bit better to me than a 911 Porsche. I have no desire to own one. Now, that might be some of you guys' dream cars. I'm not knocking it. Go out there and get it. That's something you want. We all have reasons why we want to drive different vehicles. That's just how it works. But I think overall, Chevrolet has did a phenomenal job with building the 2020 C8 Corvette and making this bad boy look exotic. Now, as time goes on, this car is going to get better. It's going to get better and better and better. GM went from literally building a front engine Corvette for so many decades to switching over and building a mid engine Corvette. And this platform couldn't come out any better. It's one of those things where a lot of people were hoping that this car was going to fail. I've seen comments in a lot of my videos like, I wouldn't buy the first generation mid engine. It's not what Corvettes are about, and you know, it's going to have issues, it's going to have problems, and you're wasting your money, and it's costing a lot of money. It's just like, man, you get one life. I'm not about to worry about all that stuff. I'm gonna want to work hard, bust my butt. And one thing that comes with a brand new car is what we all know is a warranty, right? So it didn't matter to me what the problems and issues was going to occur, because GM built this car so they would know how to fix it. And with my relationship with the engineers, I can say, hey guys, this is the issue I'm having. Can you tell me what's wrong with it? Can I bring it back to the plant and have you guys look at it or diagnose it and tell me what the problem is? Because I have a great relationship with the engineers, which I respect. And those guys are great, and they're on top of everything, which, by the way, I don't have any issues. So I don't have any reason to contact them other than asking them how their family members are doing, how they, you know, lasting through COVID and through this pandemic, and hopefully they can get, you know, things back on track for you guys to get y'all 2020 Corvettes as well. So overall, I haven't had any issues with this car. Now, I'm sure there are some guys out there who probably have some issues, probably, but you can't blame it on Chevrolet. You can probably blame it on the manufacturer who designed that part. You can design it on somebody else who probably built it in the plant. You just never know. You just never freaking know. But whoever, you know, built my car on the line that day when you guys was building it, I thank you. I'm grateful for you, because as of right now, my car is perfect. Other than it needs a bath. I mean, there's brake dust on there. I mean, the interior needs to be wiped down a little bit, but everything else is great. No issues, no complaints on my end. So guys, I always look forward to the future. That's the reason why I started a YouTube channel. That's the reason why I'm in the process I am now. I always think about the future, right? I think about the future and what's right now, but I am looking forward to seeing what Chevrolet will do to the C9 Corvette, just because what they did with the C8 Corvette. Now, a lot of you guys are like, why are you jumping so far ahead, Clarence? Like, just enjoy the C8. Now, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. But just like the engineers that work for Chevrolet, they have to think ahead as well, right? They have to prepare for the next step, the next journey, the next model, the next transition, which possibly could be the C9. Because in reality, you would think that Chevrolet has already thought out all the ideas regarding the Z06, regarding the Grand Sport, regarding the E-Ray, regarding the ZR1 and the Zora. At this point, they just have to tune in those projects, make sure everything is working like it should when it's time to release those car. In my personal opinion, I'm not surprised that they won't be working on the C9 already. So why not go ahead and start pushing some of these videos out to kind of throw some hints out there. So I got 5 things that I would like to see that the C9 Corvette will possibly have, and then maybe the C8 may possibly have this as well in the future variants. But I want to see what you guys think based off the things I am referring to right now. So the number one thing that I am going to consider as something I would like to see Chevrolet add into the C9 Corvette or a future variant of the C8 Corvette is the paddle shifters. Now I know the paddle shifters in the C8 Corvette are already there. But here's my thing. I drove one of my friends' GTR. The GTR was great, all-wheel drive car, phenomenal. And what I liked about the GTR that day was it took me a while to kind of get used to using the paddle shifters in the C8, because as I was turning the steering wheel, I had to find the paddle shifters. I had to find them. And I didn't really like that. You know, I'm trying to get used to using the paddle shifters because I didn't use them that often in my C7, which granted my friend Mike taught me how to use them when we went to California for the unveiling of the 2020 C8 Corvette, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And I'm going to teach you guys also how to use the paddle shifters in a 2020 Corvette, how the transmission shifts, how you can't hear it, and things like that in a later video once I actually get another GoPro. Because right now I have one GoPro and I need to have one facing me and one facing the paddle shifter so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing when I'm driving this car. But with that being said, I wish that the paddle shifters in the C8 Corvette and hopefully in the C9 on future variants will be still. Won't be attached to the steering wheel, so as I'm turning the steering wheel, the paddle shifters won't turn. Because as I'm turning the car, I have to find the paddle shifters. When I was driving my friend's Nissan GTR, I didn't have to find the paddle shifters. As the steering wheel was turning, the paddle shifter was in its spot, so I didn't have to move my hands at all. That was such an awesome feeling. That was my first time actually driving a car with its paddle shifter stand still like that. And I think the Lamborghinis are the same way. I never test drove a Lamborghini. I would like to at some point. As you guys know, that is my dream car. But the paddle shifters in the Lamborghini and the Nissan GTR stand still. So as I'm turning the steering wheel, all I have to do is just, you know, click it down and it goes down. Or to the right hand side, it goes up, it shifts up. That's what I like the most about the paddle shifters in the GTR and the Lamborghini. And I hope that Chevrolet somehow are able to create the same type of thing in the C9 Corvette. I don't know if that's going to be a big cost. I have no clue because obviously I'm not one of the engineers behind the 2020 C8s in the version or the C9 or the case may be. But I will say that I do like how these paddle shifters are a little bit larger in this car than it is in the C7, because in the C7 they're like small black knobs about this big, when in this car it is nice, clean, silver. It stands out. I can see them. I just wish they would stay steady when I'm driving this vehicle. So that's one thing I would like to see maybe in a future version of the C8 Corvette or the C9 Corvette. Another thing that a lot of guys have talked about they would like to see in a future variant of a C8 Corvette or the C9 Corvette is the spoiler. Now, I love this spoiler absolutely a lot. Now, I know a lot of you guys have probably been seeing leaked information on patents and upgrades and stuff that you may see to come to a future with a future Corvette, but we don't know that. Like, right, just because somebody signed a patent doesn't mean that's something that we're going to receive. You know, I studied business in college and I know all about patents. Just because someone patents something doesn't mean we want to see that product. People usually patent something because they are in plans on creating that product or they are patented because they don't want nobody else to steal that idea or that product. Now, at the end of the day, GM has patents to do an active aero on a Z06. That is something that we saw, doesn't mean it's going to be true. We also thought that maybe the C8 Corvette Stingray was going to come with active aero, and that is not the case. Granted, I do like the way my spoiler looks now, except I wish once again that it was maybe just these two spokes and not those, or maybe just that one and not these, or maybe this one, that one, and one in the middle. Either way, I do like my high-wing spoiler on my Corvette. So one thing that I hope that General Motors offer in a future C8 Corvette or a C9 Corvette is active aero. As you guys notice, you know, Lamborghini has that, Ferrari has that, McLaren has that, and I'm not trying to say like, you know, Chevrolet, go ahead and put all these things in the car to price out of your customer's base, because that's not what I'm asking. I do think you guys are smart enough to create a Corvette that will have active aero that will make us go, wow, wow, wow. Chevrolet stepped their game up on this one. I mean, when you guys unveil this car in, you know, California, testing California, I'm not gonna lie, you guys stepped your game up big time. I mean, when this car came rolling out, I was smiling like a kid in the candy store. I was looking at it like, man, I am looking forward to owning and driving that beautiful machine. And now look at it, sitting in my face. Chevrolet literally invited me out to Tustin, California, to the unveiling of the 2020 C8 Corvette. And I trailer my C7 Corvette behind a freaking $1 Trailblazer with my buddy Mike all the way to California just to see this bad boy in person, and then now be able to own this thing is freaking insane. You know, anything is possible in 2020. Literally anything is possible in 2020 at this point. But yes, that's just freaking great. So the two things thus far that I talked about that I wish that a future C8 version would have, or C9 version would have, would be the paddle shifters that are standing still on the car, or the active aero on a future Corvette. Because I'm not gonna lie, you know, cranking the car up and having the seats and the steering wheel adjust to my liking is freaking great. So imagine once you get in the car and you crank it up and the active aero spoiler comes up, or you turn it to sport or track mode and the active aero comes out and you're ready to just take on your next track event. I think it'd be freaking phenomenal. So those are two things that I'm really greatly appreciated, and I'm hope that Chevrolet will actually create in a future variant of the Corvette. I mean, I don't see why not, right? It's one of those things where everybody else is doing it. I don't know what the cost may be when it comes down to building that type of thing for a future variant Corvette, but let's hope it happens. Another thing that, you know, a lot of guys are probably going to disagree with, but a lot of guys probably will agree with, that I thought that this Corvette was going to have, because I did see a patent a long time ago that Chevrolet, you know, patent, and I thought that it was going to be the case, which was the doors. As you guys know, I have vertical doors on my C7 Corvette. I absolutely love those doors. I think it makes that car look even more exotic. I am considering, on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 5 right now, possibly putting vertical doors on this car. I have seen a car with vertical doors, a C8 Corvette, a white one, and the vertical doors make this car look even more exotic. And I'm not against doing it, but I would like to see Chevrolet do something like that. I know people say, you know, that may be out of Chevrolet's customer base. It may take a lot of money to do. I don't know how much money it's going to take it to do. It may add more weight to the car. But here's my thing. At this point, I don't think weight is a problem. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I wish the car weighed a little bit less. But at the end of the day, the weight isn't a problem for me. I know this car weighs about 3,500 pounds. The C7 Corvette, the Grand Sport, weighs about 3,400 pounds. What does it matter? As long as the car has plenty of power, you're able to put that weight down. To me, it doesn't really matter how much weight you have. I personally would rather have crazy exotic doors than to worry about weight reduction. That's just me, though. That's just me. Can you imagine buying a $60,000 car that already looks exotic, but come with crazy doors? No, man. I would go nuts over that car. Literally go nuts over that car. Which is why I know my dream goal is to own a Lamborghini. It'd be nice to have those doors go up, because I love that feature on my C7 Corvette. So I would love for Chevrolet at some point to make the doors go up on a Corvette. That would look great. Or leave that option for us to decide, right? So how about they patent a type of door design and then you get to choose, just like you choose the 1LT, the 2LT, or the 3LT. You can say, okay, I want a 2LT package, but I do want this door kit. So at that point, you can decide whether or not you want a door kit or you don't. So that way, GM is not going out of their normal customer base. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's something they can do on that assembly line. Like, okay, on this section, we're doing the crazy doors. On that section, you're not getting crazy doors. But I would love to have that feature. I know at this point, like, Chevrolet tried to build this car to match everybody's needs and preference. Like, you know, some people's like, well, you know, GM is tired of building cars for the older guys. They're trying to appeal to the more the younger generation. Whatever the case may be, I think that if they're able to create that kit, have it for, you know, a person that chooses to decide to go with 2LT crazy doors or 2LT non crazy doors, that's an option. Those are things that I would love to see General Motors add to a future variant of a Corvette. There's a lot more things that I think that Chevrolet will come up with that will probably you know, please the eye and wow us with, and I'm looking forward to. But those are three things that I'm looking forward to actually seeing in a future version of a C9 Corvette or a future Corvette in general. You know, the Corvette body style usually changes, I think, what, every 5 years. I think the C7 body style came out in 2014 and lasted until 2019. So who knows how long this body style will be here, but I hope that Chevrolet knocks us out of our water again when it's time down to build the C8 Z06 and so forth and possibly the C9 as well. And you guys, leave your comments down below. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts? You guys are very creative. You guys got minds too. Leave your comments down below what you think the Chevrolet should add to a C9 Corvette, and let's see if some of those things come to life. You know, I'm hoping forward to seeing some of that new stuff that Chevrolet got planned for us. And you know, you guys are very great. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, once again, please help me reach 20,000 followers by the end of this year. I would feel so great to reach that goal. And you guys, thank you again for watching my YouTube channel and watching my videos, and I'll catch you in an episode of C9 Speed 252.
Is your seatbelt fastened? All right. Let's go.